Okay, a quick video looking at the Silca Futura and 15 things I don't like about it. That's right, there's things I don't like about it. Okay, number one is the actual machine won't get any new updates, any new information, any bug fixing or anything unless you register it. So you actually do need to register it from the start before you can kind of get those little bugs fixed. So the machine is brand new, and it isn't, there is a few bugs and a few things that need to be added, and as you see on screen, you've got to add all your details, send them away, they give you back an email, then you verify, then you download. I believe it should be already able to be downloaded. You shouldn't have to tell them all about you just to be able to download an update. So that's the first thing I don't like. Okay, second thing I don't like, the Wi-Fi. To update, you need to set the tablet to Wi-Fi, then tether the machine to use that Wi-Fi, so they both must be connected through the same server. There is other ways of doing it, but I found it a bit cumbersome and you have to go backwards and forwards to actually get it to work. So that I found was a bit of a negative compared with other machines and the way other ones work. So the Wi-Fi, although it is handy when you're using a different PC and just wirelessly sending codes to the machine to cut, I found Wi-Fi wasn't that easy to use all of the time unless you're just turning the machine on. If you turn the machine on and the tablet on, then they pair up and it works well. But other than that, the Wi-Fi wasn't exactly a highlight. Okay, number 3 on our list. I'm looking for a simple tiny cam lock which is called a cyber lock, and I found it's not in the database. I go to search. I go to standard keys. I type in my code, which starts with a CC0001. Then I go down and I search for it. I find everything else, but I'm not actually finding the key that I want. Okay, now I'm going to push the back button, which is actually an arrow in the top left hand corner going to the right, which symbolizes forwards, but we're going to push that because that's actually the back button. So I can't find in this database my code right now. So this is annoying to me because I need to now cut this particular type of key. Alright, number 4, we're going to look at something that a lot of people overlook, and that is how to mount the machine to a vehicle, or perhaps even just a bench to make sure it doesn't fall over. Now the machine is worth a lot of money, and it's about the equivalent of a small cheap car. Now if you have a small cheap car, you'd probably want to get insurance for that. With this machine, you can't really get insurance. So the most insurance you get to stop it breaking in the event of moving around in the back of the van is this little bracket. And it's held on by 2 small little tiny screws. So that's bad for if you're in a crash. The machine weighs 25 kilos. So if you've got that backwards and forwards on these little screws, the screws just aren't really enough to hold that machine down. So as far as being insurance on your investment, these little 2 tiny screws holding it down, it's probably not cutting it. As you see there on number 4, connect the bracket to the machine, then you bolt it down to the bench. So at number 4, I'm giving this a thumbs down. That's something I don't like. They should have made it bigger and stronger, and securing to the bench a lot better than that. Okay, coming in number 5, we're going to put all the accessories. The price of the accessories, they're not cheap, and there's quite a number of them. Alright, number 6 is turning the machine off. When you want to turn it off, you've got to go up to the top right hand corner, push that little round icon there, and then push OK. Then wait for the machine to stop blinking green, then you can turn it off at the big red switch on the side. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not a simple on and off. Okay, number 7 on the list. When I first saw this machine advertised, it was advertised with comes complete with Instacode. And after having a look at the Instacode which it comes complete with, I see that the Instacode, the full version, is completely different to this version. I would have expected it to be the same, but it's not. This is a very streamlined version of Instacode, and when you compare it, you'll see that the two Instacodes are completely different. On the original Instacode, you get a lot more information on the screen, so you can pick your code quicker. With the machine, it's a little bit more cluttered and congested there. You still do have your search function on the left there where you can put it in. But yeah, generally speaking, I find the original Instacode a lot quicker, a lot more information, and has everything. There's been codes that I have found in this version of Instacode which are not even there, which is amazing because it's Instacode. I've also found that sometimes one Instacode is not compatible with the other Instacode, such as there was a particular key I wanted to send to this machine. I sent it, the Instacode allowed me to send it, but it then said error, something about SN, the Silca number. So the Silca number wasn't actually in the machine. So not all the codes that you're going to find on Instacode are actually in this version of Instacode. So I found that a little bit annoying. Okay, number 8, I'm putting in, not all the cards are in there, and sometimes you actually have to make cards. So this is a brand new machine, but still Silca's been around for a long time. I don't see why they couldn't have put the database in there, and I don't see why we're adding common keys to, top of the line new machine when they come standard with all the other machines. Some of the old Unicodes I can plug in Instacode and send any code I want to it, whether or not the card is in there or not. It'll accept it and it'll work. As with the Silca Futura, if the card's not in there, you just can't send a code to it. So if you do a search and you can't find the card for the key that you want, you're pretty much out of luck. And that's when you actually have to spend more money, depending on where you are, anywhere from $600 to $1,500 to get an add-on for this machine, which you basically pay your supplier and then you can download it, and it's an add-on to the software. Then you can go through and actually calibrate in a new card for the key that you want to do. So if the card isn't there, you can actually introduce it. This is just an example. It might look different. This is an example of CodeMaker by Silca, and basically you have to add it, and then you have to go through and put in all your specs, your spacing, your data, and things like this, the jaw, the cutter, the speed, all that sort of stuff, so that way you can cut the keys that you want, or the keys that you need. So it's a real pain in the bum if the card is not in the system from the start. And considering it would have not taken up too much room, I think there should have been more cards. I think they should have included all the cards, and the cards shouldn't be specific to different regions, because a lot of manufacturers start selling in one region and end up selling in a different region, leaving people like locksmiths to have to update their key machines to suit. So I believe cards should have been in there from the start, and the whole database is just not part of it. Okay, number 9, I'm putting in updates. First of all, you need to set the tablet up to Wi-Fi, then you use your USB to tether down to the machine. I think you should just be able to do it all on the tablet and then send it to the machine at a later stage. Secondly, the reason I say updates is because they give you 2 years of free updates, but after that they want to charge you for the updates. Now, there is always a lot of bugs with new machines and things in the first year or two, so I think it's a bit unfair that we, once they sort of solve the bugs, we have to start paying for our updates, considering a lot of things are missing from the machine from the start. So I'm putting down updates and having to pay for them as a dislike. Okay, number 10, dislike for the Silca Futura Pro is the power. You have a machine that runs on 24 volt and you have a vehicle that runs on 12 volt, or you have a mains power socket that either runs on 240, 220 or 110 volt. So I understand it needs a power pack to run it, but what I don't understand is why they don't make it compatible with your vehicle. Vehicles in all countries run on 12 volt, so you should have the option of mains power or vehicle power. What they've done is basically only given you the option of mains power. So this means that the locksmith then has to spend more money on an inverter, a dual battery system, pure sine wave so they don't blow the machinery, all this extra money purely because they can only run it off mains power. So what it really should be is like the ITL key machines where you got 12 volt or you got mains power. I think that would have been a much better solution. So power is not really compatible with vehicles, which is machine is 90% of the time sort of going to be used as a mobile type of machine. So I believe they should have made it 12 volt and mains power. Okay, number 11, I'm going to say dedicated screen for the Silca Futura Pro. A lot of people are going to disagree and say, okay, we're going to lose this and this. I understand. But what I'm saying is if you have a dedicated screen that seems to operate almost instantaneously compared with having a tablet. On the downside to that, it's harder to replace. But on the upside, you don't have to do as much tethering and mucking around backwards and forwards. I mean, a tablet's great if you want to play games in the background or watch YouTube while you're doing something else. That's fine. But when you've got a dedicated screen for your actual machine, it loads up in seconds. Take the HPC Tiger or HPC Shark, for example, and then you look at some of the older Silca machines. They have their own screen. And over the years I've used a lot of these and had no trouble. Turn it on, bang, the screen's there, you're ready to go. No tethering, no this, no that, which makes it a little bit more reliable because there's less things that can go wrong. Okay, number 12 on the list is the price. The machine is quite expensive as an initial outlay to purchase, and most locksmiths will be paying this off over a period of years. On top of that, you also have all the accessories which you have to pay for as well. So you got the machine, the accessories, the cutters, the jaws, the add-ons, the updates. So it really starts to add up to quite a lot of money. So I'm putting that in as number 12 because when you add it all up, it's a lot more than what a lot of people sort of expect, and it takes a lot of years to actually be able to pay one off and recoup your money from the investment. Unless you're using it 100 times a day, then you probably recover your investment a lot quicker. But to have all the little parts, to do all the little keys so that when one comes your way you can do it, they do cost a lot of money. Take for example the tubular key cutter, so you can cut tubular keys. To some people that might be $300, in different countries it might be $800, but it really does add to the cost on top of an already expensive machine. Okay, number 13, I put down boot time. When you turn on a machine, bang, you want it to be ready to go. You're trying to get the job done reasonably quick, and when you've got to stop for things like booting up, it does, it's a little bit annoying. So I like my machine to boot straight up. A lot of the other key machines I use, Silca and HPC, bang, they work straight away. I understand why it does take time, but yeah, it would be nice if it would just start up instantly. So the boot time of 1 to 2 minutes I'm putting down as a thumbs down. Okay, coming in at number 14 is something I would have expected from a new computerized key machine using a tablet, and that would be to connect with the other Silca Futura devices, such as to program the key. You're going to use an RW4 to generate a remote. You're going to use a Silca generate remote, programmer, and then also you're going to go walk over to the car and then probably install the key diagnostically to the car. So you should really have some information on the tablet. So what I would have liked to have seen is, when you look at this page here, is transponder information, Silca key blank, Silca remote, push another button to program the remote, push another button to see how to manually enroll the key. All this information would have been great to have on the tablet, so you could simply cut the key and then take the tablet over to the car, manually install it, or take the tablet and then hook it onto your programmer so you can clone the key or generate the remote and do it all from the one platform. So it's a little bit disappointing that the whole things aren't. All these little machines all have little programs, and you've got to do them all separately. Where it's a computer, it's a tablet. Why can't they put a database on there which show their other products? It would have helped sell more of their other products had they all been connected. Then you would go step 1, step 2, step 3 on the tablet, and it encourages people to buy all Silca products, so you can just do the 4 or 5 steps to get the car working. Okay, number 15, a little bit similar to number 14, but this time around I'd like to say, why isn't there more USBs to be able to run different devices? RW4 would be nice if I could plug it into the Silca Futura and then use the tablet, rather than having to use another laptop or so and have to carry another laptop. I'd like to just be able to plug it in, get some power off the machine, and use the tablet to run the other machine. So you've got the RW4 for cloning keys, you've got then the new Silca remote generator. It would be nice if you could also just plug that in with the USB as well, and then you've also got some of the other diagnostics type machines where you can install things into the car. So it would be nice to actually have ports so they're all connected, so that one machine can kind of do everything. That would be the way to go, considering the only thing we're missing to do this is a couple of buttons and a couple of databases. It would have sped up the time for locksmiths and encouraged them to buy the Silca Futura Pro, and also encourage them to buy more Silca products all in the one rather than using aftermarket products along the way. So it would have been a better thing to have COM ports and databases all in the one. Okay, that's our quick little video on dislikes on the Silca Futura Pro. Be aware that we do have another video which tells you about all the good things, and it's pretty much with the unboxing video. There is a lot of good things about this new key machine. I'm just saying there's a few little things there, some of which you might agree with, some of which you may not agree with. That's what the comment section's for. If you found one that we've left out, you can add it below in the comment section. We'd like to hear from you as well about what things you've enjoyed about it and what things you haven't enjoyed about it. This video is basically just to look at a few things from an objective point of view on things the machine should have, could have, or could have done better. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you want to.